Hey Solos, should you go to Disney World fall 2024? Well, solo spoiler, yes. I actually think this fall is going to be such a great time to go to Disney World as an adult, as someone who's going solo, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Hi everyone, it's Samantha. Olaf may not know who Samantha is, but now you do. And welcome to Solo Magic, the podcast about the magic of going to Disney World solo. In this episode, I'm going to talk about what is happening at Disney World in the fall so that you can start planning your fall vacation there and start thinking about what you want to prioritize, what you want to see, what you want to do, what you might want to eat. Although I don't have a full menu list right now, but there will be some good things to eat this fall. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about this fall at Disney World, and I think that you should be too. As always, this episode is available on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube, and it would be great if you followed and reviewed and subscribed and commented and shared and do all the things that is great for like the algorithms, and like also are like little high fives to let me know that you're listening and enjoying the content. This month, I also launched a blog, disneysolomagic.blogspot.com, where I can write posts that complement these episodes, as well as provide some other tips and tricks and all that stuff. I really wanted a place where I could kind of pull some other things together that are like clickable and readable, that are just like a little bit different from the podcast. So I hope you're enjoying it. One of the things that I really, really love about the blog is actually designed around this episode, or like the idea for it was around this episode, and that is the calendar that I created, that you can take a look at the month to see what all the events are that Disney will be hosting. Disney will be hosting that they have already announced, so I'll be continuously updating that calendar. If you look right now, it is completely up to date. If you look in October or November, it's as up to date as I have it. And again, I will keep updating that as Disney releases events. This episode too has a completely corresponding blog post, so make sure you go onto the blog and be able to read some other tips and tricks that you can only get on the blog that complements the conversation that I'm having with you here today. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so should you go to Disney World this fall, Solos? Yeah, I actually think, look, I'm going to say yes to all the questions that I ask when I'm like, should you go? Yeah, go. But I think this is actually a really, really special one. I'm really excited about the fall. There's some really interesting things that are going to happen. And I think like last week, I posted an episode about the summer. And like the summer is tough. Like, should you go to Disney World in the summer? I don't know. Like, if that's the only time you can go, obviously go. But I actually think the fall is a much, much better time, both for general reasons and specific reasons. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about the specific reasons, but I'm going to start with the general reasons. So there are two general reasons why it would be great to go to Disney World in the fall. The first is the weather, and the second are the crowds. So the weather in the fall, usually, but not guaranteed, will be a little bit cooler than the summer, and there'll be less dangers statistically for other weather events like hurricanes. Now, hurricane season does go into October, November. I was there the first week of December and I hit a hurricane. You can never really guarantee it. There's also big tropical storms. Gosh, Florida, there's also big tropical storms that you could get caught in. But look, when I was there for a hurricane, even though the parks were closed one of the days, it didn't actually ruin the vacation at all. So you can still go. Don't let that stop you. But in the fall, there is a slightly less chance that you are going to get the hot weather. You're going to get the hurricanes, all of that stuff. So at the very least, going to Disney World in the fall means, maybe it won't be 96. It will be 93 or like 83. I don't know. But anyway, the weathers are better. But the crowds are also a little bit lighter. So the crowds are lighter because the kids are back at school. People might be saving up for a Christmas trip, or they might be waiting for a Thanksgiving trip, American Thanksgiving trip. So there's a lot of reasons why September and October might not be that busy. Now, because September and October are traditionally not that busy, Disney has tried to engineer that to not be true. And so they've done that by extending Halloween. So if you go in September, like, yeah, the weather, for example, might not be as hot, the crowds might not be as busy, but you can also still do Halloween stuff. And the Halloween stuff was designed early like that to be a draw to get people in the parks during these kind of low seasons. And so I'll talk about Halloween a little bit later on as one of the specific things. But just so you know, the crowds will be lighter, except around the Halloween stuff, the Halloween parties. And the closer you get to Halloween, the more the crowds will be there. So if you're looking for some downtimes to go, like Labor Day, I guess I would say all of September pretty much would be a little bit lower than October, because October, everyone gets into the Halloween spirit themselves. If you don't care about Halloween at all, then going in November before Thanksgiving, there's a couple weeks in there. That's also a really great time to go, really low crowds. I will talk about Christmas and winter in a later episode when those dates are out, so don't worry, I will cover all of that. But generally, you will get some periods where the crowds will be lower. So 2 general reasons why going to Disney this fall is a good idea. 1 is the weather, and 2 are the crowds. And I guess personally, for me as a solo, I love an empty park, especially when I am there solo, because I just get to like appreciate all the energy, all the vibes. And if this is like a once in a lifetime trip for you, then being able to go without like fighting with the crowds and the heat is usually a great thing too. I mean, it would be great for me, so hopefully it would be great for you, but if it's not, that's cool. You do you, bibbidi bobbidi boo. Now, there are 3 more specific reasons why it would be great to go to Disney World this specific fall. It's been so hard to organize this episode, I should just say. So just so we're keeping track of the list. There's going to be 2 general reasons. There's going to be 3 specific reasons. And then there's going to be 2 additional bonus reasons. So if you're keeping track, and again, you don't have to write it down, although I don't. Anyone is like sitting down with a pencil and actually writing this down. But again, it's all on the blog post, not all my random stories and the fact that I'll be like laughing to myself while recording this. But the tips themselves, including things like the dates that I'm talking about, will be in the blog post. So again, make sure you go check that out as a complement to this episode. And like I said, the URL is disneysolomagic.blogspot.com. However, the link to that is in the description of this episode. Okay, let's get into the 3 specific reasons why it would be great to go to Disney World this fall. Number 1, Tiana's Bayou Adventure will be opening at the end of June. So this episode is posted kind of mid-June. By the end of this month, Tiana's Bayou Adventure will be open. And by the time fall hits, a lot of the kinks will be out. So a lot of, like, for example, if anyone's been following any of the kind of Disney news, you'll know that when there were cast member previews, there were some big issues, and they had to like close down the ride for 3 hours, and people were turned away, and people were grumpy. But I'm like, why are you grumpy? These are previews, and like the previews were literally designed for these particular issues to happen. And those issues could continue to happen as the ride is in full operation this summer. So by the time you get to the fall, the crowds will be slightly lower to be able to ride that ride. Hopefully the kinks will be out, and they'll have a queue system, a line system that will be clear and easy to follow, and that it will be really a little bit easier to be able to ride that ride if you want to than if you go, for example, that first week of July when it's going to be crazy because it just opened. So the first specific reason is Tiana's Bayou Adventure is going to be open. It'll probably be a little easier to ride, and I think we're all excited about that. So yeah, I can't wait. I've been avoiding the previews, any like spoilers online myself, because I want to be able to experience it on my own. And I will actually be there for the annual pass previews. I don't know if I'll get a chance to ride it then, but I am going in like the summer, fall, and hopefully I will be riding it then. That was always my plan. And then things changed, and I was like, it's okay, I'll go to Disney this June. Nah, no problem. That's fine. I'm actually going this June to create content for the podcast. So, anyway, I'm excited about that. All right. The second specific reason why it is really great to go to Disney World this fall is because of the Food and Wine Festival. So, I have talked in other episodes about how I love an Epcot festival. They are my favorite. I love the fact that there's entertainment. I love all the different food. I do love the merchandise. I love all of the stuff around festivals. But I have also said that the Food and Wine Festival is my least favorite festival. The Food and Wine Festival is the OG festival. It is the original festival. It's been running for decades. It's been running for decades. And it was an opportunity to get people into Epcot during kind of down periods. And then it grew and grew and grew. And it grew into 3 other festivals. And so all of that is great. However, because it is the OG, I have argued that perhaps it hasn't had to innovate as much as the other festivals have had to. Or maybe that's not entirely fair. You know, COVID definitely changed a lot of things. So, you know, the original Food and Wine Festivals, even the Food and Wine Festivals like 5 years ago, they had celebrity chefs, they had cooking demonstrations, they had sommeliers. It was much more of a foodie festival. It wasn't just like walk around to the booths, get something, maybe pick up some merch, you know, and move on. It really had a lot of programming related to food and wine. So has it been kind of like slow because they haven't had to do more innovations, or has COVID just kind of put the kibosh on it, or is it a mix of both? It might be a mix of both. Oh, and the other thing about the Food and Wine Festival, because it is the fall festival, I always think of it as the fall festival. It was designed that way. It's a festival that I always associate with like heavy red wines, even though I don't drink at all, so I don't know where those associations came from. When they have made the Food and Wine Festival extend into the summer or start in the summer, it hasn't made sense. Like for me, every time I've gone in the summer and the Food and Wine Festival is on, I'm like, I don't want to eat any of this. I don't want to eat brisket. I don't want to eat chowder. I don't want to eat this heavy food. This is not summer food. It is 95 degrees outside. Why would I be eating like a chicken pot pie? It doesn't make sense. And I guess that's also what I mean by it hasn't had to innovate. Like, it's like, oh, it's okay. These are the menus that we've always had. We'll just keep doing them, when it doesn't fit the summer at all. So the reason why, though, I'm excited about this year, and this is, again, the specific reason why you should go to Disney World this fall, is because the Food and Wine Festival is much shorter. And I think that with a shorter festival, we are going to get foods that are a little bit more seasonal, like they'll make more sense within the fall season. And that we're going to have more programming that demonstrates the kind of innovation and like coolness of what the Food and Wine Festival can be and has been. So the Food and Wine Festival this year is going basically from Labor Day to American Thanksgiving. Just a reminder, I'm Canadian and we celebrate Thanksgiving on a different week, so I'm always going to say American Thanksgiving because it's not the only Thanksgiving and it's in a different date. So Food and Wine Festival right now is going from August 29th to November 23rd, and I think that that is a really great time. It's a finite like fall time. When I am asked to like think about when fall is, those are literally the dates that come to mind. And I think that because it is going to be a much shorter festival, we are going to get foods that make a little bit more sense to the temperature, but also to just like what people are like feeling in their souls, you know, like pumpkin spice latte vibes. And I also think that we're going to get greater innovation in programming. In fact, that is almost a guarantee, because the new Communicore Hall, the new building that was designed for both storage as well as programming for the food festivals, is going to be opening by the time you listen to this episode. So the new Communicore Hall that's going to have an Encanto show this summer, it's going to have areas, again, I know that's not exciting for anybody really, but I'm actually kind of excited about it. That building is designed to have storage and kitchens that are going to better support support the festivals. And I'm also hoping that it's going to have space in there for things like the food and wine demonstrations, the way that they used to have them. So I'm really, really excited to see what programming is going to be available because this new building is opening. And because the building isn't opening at the same time as the festival is starting, I'm also hoping that they, just like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, will be working out any of the kinks with the building. So by the time the Food and Wine Festival opens, it will be fully operational, both back end and front end, so that we will be able to get kind of extra special programming for the Food and Wine Festival. So I'm really excited about it, and you should be too. And the third specific reason why you should go to Disney this fall is because it's Halloween. And Halloween starts in the summer. Halloween starts August the 9th, which to me is too early. But I mean, you know, if you're there in August and you want to go to the Halloween party, that's wonderful. It will be interesting, though, whether or not the decorations will be up August the 9th. I mean, I guess they'll have to be. I don't know. Stay tuned. I guess we'll learn that. But Halloween at Disney is such a fun time. People get into it so much. And I think that people's enthusiasm for Halloween has kind of like encouraged Disney to be more enthusiastic about Halloween. I remember I went with a partner like 15 years ago, and I guess it was my birthday trick. So I mention this all the time, my birthday's at the end of August, and we were there at the end of August for my birthday trip, and I knew there was a Halloween party, but I was like, it's too early for Halloween, and it's a party, it's for kids, it's not for adults, like we don't have to go. So we were leaving Magic Kingdom and we were heading to the Contemporary Resort because we had a reservation at California Grill on the top there. And as we were leaving Magic Kingdom, people were streaming into the park in their costumes. And we were like, what is happening? This is amazing. We were just like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. So then we go up to California Grill for our dinner, and we didn't really realize that you could see the fireworks from California Grill, or that there would be fireworks for the Halloween party. We were having dinner, and then the firework show started happening, and it was the older villains fireworks show that everybody says was way better than what they do now. I mean, I only saw it from afar, but it seemed pretty cool. And we were sitting there just like, this is amazing. Why aren't we there? That's all we could talk about. Why aren't we there? Why are we here? Why aren't we there with all those people in the costumes and watching this really cool show up close? It was really, really fun. We never went back together, actually, but last year was my first time going to the Halloween party, and it was so much fun. And I think of that all the time when we were like, oh no, it's not for us, it's not this, it's not that, and then you're just totally blown away by all these things. And solos, it's so easy when you are traveling by yourself to just be like, yeah, I don't need to do this thing. I'm sure it's not for me. I'm sure it's not this. I'm sure it's not that. And this is a really good example of just do it, especially at Disney. They want you to have a wonderful time. They want you to enjoy it. You're not going to be judged. It's totally cool. If you're going this fall, just get a ticket to the Halloween party. I did. I loved it. The thing that I didn't love about it was the fact it was my first time there. And so I was so anxious to be able to see and do everything. And I'm excited this year because I'm going to be able to just relax into it a little bit more. And anyway, I'll talk a little bit more about the Halloween party, but it was really cool to see it from afar, and it was really cool to be there. And so I just think that Halloween at Disney is just so fun. And if you think that too, then you should definitely plan a trip this fall to be able to appreciate all that Disney has to offer when it comes to Halloween. Okay, so let's talk about Halloween at Disney. Like I said, it's really fun. So there's two parts of talking about Halloween, and I'm going to just do the crude distinction of the free stuff and the paid stuff. With the caveat, of course, that everything is essentially paid stuff, because it's Disney. But anyway, we're going to put that aside and just focus on, again, the things that are kind of included when you're already going to the parks and you're already staying at the hotels and you're already there, and then anything that is extra. So the quote, free stuff, that's not really free, is the fact that the parks get decorated. Well, not all the parks. Magic Kingdom gets decorated. And they have great scarecrows right at the front, like right in that front foyer. Down Main Street USA, they have all these great like jack-o'-lanterns, and yeah, it's like they're really, really fun. There's some really nice fall decorations. It's not through the whole park. It's really just that kind of Main Street area. But I think that's the case for, I guess, all the holidays. Well, there's some touches, Christmas touches in other places as well. But the main theming, the main seasonal decoration is that kind of Main Street corridor. And yeah, it's really fun. I remember that trip from 2014. That's when we went. And it was just really awesome to come in and see the scarecrows and to see all the pumpkins. And they were, yeah, really, really fun. There will also be some like extra seasonal, special Halloween, treats and snacks and things like that. They will put out a full menu of those snacks and things like that. The menu that they'll put out, if they do it the same way they've done it with everything, is it will show you a particular menu item, like a particular snack, and then identify if it's only available for the parties or if it's available just kind of around the regular park time. So just kind of keep an eye on that because not everything is available. Things will be available, however, at Disney Springs. And in my Disney Springs episode, I mentioned that while they have like special menu items at Disney and they'll do a blog post about it and they'll talk about it and all that stuff, a lot of times those aren't necessarily new things. They're just kind of repurposing current menu items to say that it aligns with this. I'm thinking about the Asian American Pacific Islander menus that they came up with. Like all of the items on the like Magic Kingdom list, for example, were things that were already on the menus. But at Disney Springs, however, they do a much better job of doing special seasonal things. And so you'll be able to find seasonal foods and decorations and things like that at Disney Springs too, which is really cool. However, I don't know if it will be for the same amount of time that you'll see it at Magic Kingdom. So again, at Magic Kingdom, the first Halloween party is August 9th. Will all the Halloween decorations be out August 9th? I mean, I guess so. I guess it has to be for the party. But I would be very, very, very surprised if there would be Halloween foods and decorations and things like that at Disney Springs August the 9th. I really think that you'd have to wait till October. So if Halloween is your jam and that's what you want to do, however, you don't necessarily want to go to a party that might not be in your budget, you might be a little intimidated, but you shouldn't be, you should go if you want to and it's in your budget, then go to Disney, plan your Disney World vacation in October because you'll still be able to get a lot of the Halloween vibes even though you wouldn't be attending the parties. But now let's talk about the parties. There's going to be 38 evening parties at Magic Kingdom between August the 9th and October 31st. 38. There's going to be 20 dates in August and September, and there's going to be 18 dates in October. Are you wondering what those dates are? Well, you can go to the DisneySoloMagic.blogspot calendar and you will be able to see all of the dates so that you can start planning your vacation. And when there are other things that get announced, so for example, right now I have the after hours events, just like the regular after hours events plugged in. If they release other dates through the fall, then I will put those in as well so you can start thinking about your dates. But to me, it was really useful to be able to just have these overviews. Now, you, of course, can go party on the Disney site to see which dates are sold out and all that stuff. And the prices do change. The prices go up the closer you are to Halloween. However, you can also take a look at the calendar that I provided in order to start just like doing that quick thinking about your trip and the dates that you might want to go for. So what's so special about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? Well, it's a Halloween party and it's not so scary as well. It's a Halloween party. It's really cool. It's an evening event. It's a specially ticketed event, so it's an additional cost. If you're planning on going to if you're planning on going to Magic Kingdom that day, you will need a separate ticket if you are also staying for the party at night. So just know about that. However, even though, okay, I'm going to get the time slightly wrong here, but just trust me. If the party starts at like 7 p.m., your party ticket can get you into the park at like 5 p.m. So you can still do some like daytime park things before the party starts. And when the party starts, you get a wristband so that people, like cast members, will know that you should be staying in the park when the party starts. And then regular guests will be, moved to the exit. However, I don't recommend going to Magic Kingdom that day and then going to the party at night. I think that might be too much. And depending on what the temperature is, like it might be physically a lot for you solo. Last year, I can't remember what we did during the day, because again, that was a birthday trip. So I was there with my mom actually, but she didn't come to the party with me. I did the party solo. I can't remember what we did during the day. I think we went to Animal Kingdom Lodge and we just like walked around and had lunch. And then I went back to our cabin. We were staying at the Fort Wilderness Cabins. And I got my little outfit on. I was so cute. And then I went to the party for the whole evening and stayed till like the very last moment. And it was just wonderful. And I definitely could not have gone to Magic Kingdom like all day and then went to the park. That would have been a lot. So during this evening event, there is a special parade. It happens twice. The first parade, they actually are moving up the time to make it a little bit easier for families with little kids, which means by the end of the night, the park will be super, super empty, which again, I love. It's called the Boo to You Parade. It's very catchy. It's very fun. The performers are into it. Like, it's just really, really great. There's also a stage show. There's a fireworks show that are all just for Halloween. Some of the rides have special Halloween overlays. There's also like characters that you don't normally see throughout the park so that you can go and take pictures. This was part of my plan last year, and I found that the lines were... I just didn't want to spend my time waiting in lines. So I don't know, again, like, do you figure out what the best kind of thing is for you? And I will talk about the Halloween party in a full episode, so I'll give you some tips then. So look out for that. The other thing about the Halloween party is that they have trick-or-treating in a lot of different buildings. And so you can go throughout the buildings and get a whole bunch of candy. And that was something I was going to spend a lot of time doing. And then I was like, no, I'd rather be out. And it was really, really fun. I can't wait to go this year. I can't wait to like do the whole episode on the Halloween party. So anyway, the Halloween party is definitely fun solos. You should check it out if that is your thing. So again, you can go to Disney and experience Halloween without paying anything additional, or you can go to Disney and celebrate Halloween by paying the additional cost of going to the Halloween party. And in my experience, if you're into Halloween, it's definitely worth it if that is in your budget. All right, so the two general reasons for going to Disney World this fall as a solo are weather and crowds. 3 specific reasons for going to Disney World this fall is Tiana's Bayou Adventure, the Food and Wine Festival, and Halloween. Now, I have 2 other bonus reasons why it would be great to go to Disney World this fall as a solo. And the first one is the Disney Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend. So this year, Run Disney is celebrating 15 years of running the Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend. There's a 5K, there's a 10K, and there's a half marathon. And I would have started this as one of the specific reasons to go, but all of that stuff is actually sold out. You can't actually sign up for those events anymore. I'm really hoping actually solos to connect with people that usually do the Run Disney events so that we can do something ahead of time for like the Princess Half Marathon in February. But it'd be really great to talk with somebody beforehand so that we can encourage other solos to sign up for it. Not me though, because I don't want to wake up early or run. But even if you're not participating in the Wine and Dine, like running part of the half marathon weekend, it is a really good thing to know about for a couple reasons. Number 1, there's an expo, which is fun. You can go buy some merchandise if you want. It's also the same weekend as Halloween, and that means that the Halloween weekend is going to be very, very busy. Now, you might actually really be into that. Now, I've said many times in this episode, I don't love crowds. However, There is something about going like the busy Halloween weekend where everyone will be excited for Halloween and excited for the running and all of that stuff that might actually be kind of cool and might really feel like, gosh, like you're just like in this fun community of adults, right? Because of course with the half marathon, any of the run events, it's primarily for adults. However, there's also a post-race party at Epcot on November the 3rd. That is a specially ticketed event. You can get into the park, you can get into Epcot at 5 p.m., even though the party doesn't actually like start until 10 p.m. and it goes like through the evening, I guess, until midnight. And that is something that anybody can do, who is not a runner. That's, like I said, November the 3rd, which is a Sunday, and October 31st is the Friday. So you can go for that whole weekend. You can be able to like do Halloween. You can be able to see what's happening with the Run Disney events. And again, like if you are a solo and you are interested in doing a Run Disney event, but you aren't quite sure like what the vibe is going to be, then go during one of those weekends and kind of check it out. When I was there the last time, there was an event going on. And so it was just kind of cool to see all the like signage and stuff for the runners. So again, if you want to do like a reconnaissance mission, what a wonderful weekend to do it. You get to do Halloween, get to see all the runners, and then you can go to a post-race party. And the post-race party is, again, a specially ticketed event. However, you'll get access to all these different rides. It'll be such a cool vibe with all the, like, the runners, all these adults. I think it will be super, super awesome. So definitely check that out if you're interested. There's going to be a bonus episode this week with Yvette, who told me about the party, and she's going that weekend for all of this. And so we don't spend a lot of time talking about that, but I wanted to make sure that her solo story went up the same week that I get to talk about this event that she really told me about. The other bonus thing, this actually moves us further into November than most of the things that I've talked about, is American Thanksgiving. So Disney actually has its own blog and own podcast, and it's called Plan Disney. And it's a series of both experts as well as Disney cast members who write in with questions, the different things that you can do and learn and navigate at Disney. And there was a question that was asked this month or last month about, I'm going to Disney World solo around Thanksgiving. Like, where can I eat like a traditional Thanksgiving meal? And that post was really, really great because it just laid out all of the different places that you can eat. So please, please, please check out the blog post, like my blog post, because I link to that blog post. That way we only have one place for links and we're not linking all over the place. But you can go to my blog that aligns with this episode and be able to check out the Plan Disney list of all of the different places that you can go and enjoy a Thanksgiving meal if you're going to Disney World solo. What's also really great about that particular Plan Disney blog post is that it calls out the Solo Magic podcast. Hey! I think that means that we are definitely the premier podcast for solo travel to Disney in the world, I guess. In the Disney world, in the regular world. I mean, I don't know if there's any others, so we're going to stick with number one. Thanks for making us number one, everyone. High fives all around. So if you are planning on, or I should say, if you would like something a little bit different from your Thanksgiving than kind of the normal thing that you might do with family or friends, or even if you don't have family and friends that you usually celebrate Thanksgiving with, if you're just like, you know, hanging around and want something else to do, then go to Disney for Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, also Canadian Thanksgiving, and be around the magic to be able to kind of celebrate. And even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, to just like have a long weekend at Disney, like what's better than that? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe just like a week at Disney. Yeah, you can stretch it to a week, or, you know, whatever. Do you? So, oh my gosh, I'm really, really excited for fall. Right now, I'm going for my birthday, end of August, the Labor Day weekend, and I'm going to do the Food and Wine Festival. I'm going to definitely do Tiana's. I'm going to a Halloween party, but I'm also hoping that I'll be able to get there sometime in October, just for a few days, maybe around Canadian Thanksgiving, to be able to do a little bit more Halloween stuff a little bit closer to. And the more people listen to this, the more traction we get, the more followers, all that stuff. It's more encouraging to be able to plan these trips so I can go to create content for you. I can go and maybe create videos, maybe do those episodes where I'm like recording myself during the day. That was really fun. I have a couple other ideas coming up. So again, please make sure you are subscribing and rating and reviewing and all that stuff, because that makes me know that you're listening, that you're enjoying, and that you want kind of more of what we're doing. So, all right, here was my list of 2 general, 3 specific, and 2 bonus reasons why going to Disney World solo this fall is a wonderful idea. And I hope you do it. Please let me know if you do on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, all the ways you can get in touch with me. Bye, solos. Stay magical. Until next time. Hi, solos. It's Samantha. I hope you like this episode and all the episodes of Solo Magic, the podcast about the magic of going to Disney World solo. Just a reminder that you can listen on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. No matter where you're listening, please make sure you subscribe and rate and share with others. You can also connect with me on Instagram, Disney_solo_magic, as well as Facebook, Disney Solo Magic. And we have a new blog, DisneySoloMagic.blogspot.com, that will complement the information that we talk about on the podcast, as well as be able to highlight some different tips and tricks and information that will make your solo trip the most magical ever. Until next week, bye!